thinking about having laser vision correction but aren't quite sure if it's right for you. People from all walks of life and all sorts of occupations are making the decision to have the life-changing procedure. Dr. Jeffrey Gold, a board-certified and award-winning ophthalmologist, is back to fill us in. Hi, Doctor. Always fun to have you here.
Thanks for having me
Give
back.
us such good information. Right off the bat, let's talk about some awards, because this is great news for you.
Oh yeah, we just got 2 new awards. Talk of the Towns does a poll about patient satisfaction, and we won that award, so
Terrific.
I'm really excited about that. And there's an organization called Health Tap, where people can go online and ask questions about anything health or medical related, and various doctors just volunteer to give online answers to these questions. And I won again for this season for Connecticut Top Doctor in Ophthalmology.
That's fantastic. Congratulations. So, Doctor, we typically talk about epi-LASIK versus LASIK, and who are you seeing have the procedure done?
Lately, I've been seeing a lot of athletes. Various forms of athletics are really difficult to do with glasses or contact lenses. And so a lot of athletes, I mean, recently we had the National Curling Championship on the show.
That's right, they were right on our show.
Yeah. People who play basketball, baseball, you know, if they get some dust kicked up in their eye and their contact lenses are in, they're out of commission. Traditionally, over the years, I've done this surgery for tons of cops and firefighters. For them, it's an occupational hazard to have to have glasses or contact lenses. Scientists, people who are on computers or microscopes all day long. Students, people who just don't want to deal with their contacts and glasses, or who dangerously sleep in their contact lenses.
Yeah, that's not a good idea,
That's
is
a
it?
bad deal.
Let's get into the procedure itself here.
Okay.
You've done thousands of these. Give us the basics, if you will.
I've done 11,000 procedures approximately, starting in the early days with PRK, which in the early 90s, PRK was a very painful procedure. Well, we've solved that problem. There's no pain involved anymore. And epi-LASIK is the modern version of PRK. And to differentiate it from LASIK, in LASIK we cut the cornea open. I can show that with this model. In LASIK, the cornea gets cut open and a flap gets folded back. The problem with that is the interface between the flap and the remainder of the cornea never fully heals. So if some of those athletes who have had the procedure done get hit in the eye later on and that flap comes loose, they've got about an hour to find somebody to fix it, or they're going to need a corneal transplant. So I have abandoned LASIK, and I do epi-LASIK, the modern version of PRK, which involves just taking off the surface layer of cells. And I think we've got a graphic of that. In the picture on the right, there's LASIK with the flap folded back, and on the left, just that thin sheet of surface cells is taken away, and I think the next graphic shows that even better. The blunt tip separating device works sort of like a snowplow on a driveway and pushes off this epithelial cells. That's why it's called epi-LASIK. And those cells are thrown away. The laser makes a change in the shape of the second layer down, and then those cells grow back over the next 3 to 6 days painlessly. And during those 3 to 6 days, the only restrictions that the patient has is don't rub, don't get shower or swimming water right in the eyes, and stay away from tobacco smoke.
That's a pretty easy recovery then.
Easy recovery, no pain involved.
And how long does it take to have your vision corrected?
The surgery itself takes about 4 minutes for each eye.
Okay.
Altogether, they're at my laser center for less than an hour on surgery day. Then they go home and take a nap, and after an hour of sleep, the surface cells start to grow back, and that growth continues over the next 3 to 6 days.
That's fantastic. And Doctor, run us through the procedure when someone calls your office and they want to make an appointment.
Well, the first step is to call for a free screening. And we've traditionally never charged for that, just for have somebody come in to find out if they're a good candidate for the procedure. And that involves a couple of scans and a couple of measurements. We have to make sure that the cornea is thick enough and that the cornea does not have any evidence of a couple of degenerations, which would rule those people out. And then once they decide that they want to proceed with the procedure, they come back on a different day for the pre-op exam, which takes about an hour, during which time a complete medical eye examination is conducted as well to make sure there are no hidden ophthalmic diseases. Then they come back the day of surgery, they're in the office less than an hour, go home and go to sleep, come back the next morning for me to check that the contact lenses that they wear as bandages are in the proper position, and I only deal with those contact lenses. And I think one of the things that sets our practice apart from the other LASIK practices around is that when the patient comes for their screening exam, I perform that.
Sure.
When the patient comes for their pre-op exam, I perform that. Obviously, I do the surgery, and then I take care of all of the post-op care as well. In other practices, in one practice I know of particularly, the first patient stop is in the business office.
Oh, that's not very comforting, is it?
No, not very comforting. Just to find out if they can afford to pay for the procedure. Because I don't have all of these assistants involved in the decision-making process, and I calculate the amount of surgery to be done by myself, my rate of having to do an enhancement or a touch-up is way less than the worldwide average, and I'm pretty proud of that.
You should be. Doctor, I know you're the only Connecticut ophthalmologist to represent the Better Vision Network.
Right, that's another honor that has been bestowed upon us. Better Vision Network is a group of ophthalmologists nationwide who have selected a doctor from each region or each city here in Connecticut. The state is small enough that there's only one of me
That's true.
representing the Better Vision Network, which promotes safe laser vision correction.
Very good. Now, Doctor, you always have a special discount for Connecticut-style viewers, $200 on each eye, and you're also expanding that, though.
Right. Anybody who calls in mentioning this show gets $200 discount on each eye, and we've extended that to first responders of any type, also active duty and retired military, to honor what our military is doing for us.
Very good. Doctor, thank you so much for all the information, as always. And if you'd like more info about EpiLASIK, you can contact Dr. Gold at Liberty Vision in Hanbin or visit libertyvision.net. You can also find them on Facebook. All right, stay with us. More Connecticut Style after the break. We'll be right back.